You've got 2 days. Find out who the thief is, or every single one of you loses your job. My boss Marcus didn't look at anyone else when he said it. Just me. His eyes burned with accusation, like the verdict was already in. Behind him, his son Carter slouched against the doorframe, scrolling his phone with this tiny smirk that made my skin crawl. 12 people. 12 faces went pale. Some stared at the floor. Others exchanged panicked glances. A couple brave enough to look Marcus in the eye. Nobody said a word. 6 prototypes, gone. Worth over 200 grand, but the money wasn't even the worst part. These devices held our next-gen technology. 2 years of work. If our competitors got them, we were finished. Trust me, I hate this, Marcus continued, voice shaking with barely controlled rage. But corporate wants blood, and I'm not sacrificing my career for whoever did this. I'm Ava, 29 years old, been in product development for 5 years, trained half the people in that room. I stay late when projects need finishing, come in early when deadlines loom, cancel plans when the team needs me, cover shifts when people have emergencies. Carter? 8 months at the company. Shows up late, leaves early, makes sloppy mistakes I quietly fix before quality control notices. Why do I protect him? Because he's the boss's kid. Everyone knows it. Nobody says it. Can we review the security footage? I asked, keeping my voice level. Marcus's jaw clenched. Already checked. Whoever took them knew exactly how to dodge the cameras. Of course they did. Carter knew every camera angle in this building. I'd watched him point them out to the new intern, bragging about blind spots like it was some kind of achievement. The meeting ended. People shuffled out in shocked silence. I went back to my desk and pretended to work, but my mind was racing. 6 prototypes, 6 sleek devices representing millions in development, just vanished. My coworker Riley appeared at my desk after lunch. "This is insane," she whispered. "He can't just fire everyone." "He can if corporate supports it," I said. "They'll just rebuild the team from scratch." She glanced around nervously. "Do you think... could it be Carter?" I shot her a warning look. Even whispering that was dangerous. Marcus would destroy anyone who accused his son. I thought about all the times I'd covered for Carter, checking equipment back in when he forgot, filing damage reports under my name so he wouldn't get written up, taking blame for his delays. I did it because I believed in this team. All of us. Even him. I did it to avoid conflict. To keep morale up. To be a good leader. Now, watching Riley's terrified expression, I wondered if I'd been wrong this whole time. That night, sleep wouldn't come. I kept replaying things. Carter volunteering to close up every Friday, his master key given by his father, against company policy. The casual way he'd asked me last month if I knew anyone buying refurbished tech parts. At 3 in the morning, I made a choice. I got dressed, drove back to the office, didn't break any rules, just used my regular access badge. Security recognized me. I came in at odd hours all the time, went straight to the equipment room where we kept our lockers. Carter's was in the corner. 4-digit combination lock. I'd overheard him tell someone it was his birth year. I didn't open it. Just stood there, staring, thinking. If I told Marcus my suspicions, either he wouldn't believe me and I'd pay the price for accusing his son, or he would believe me and cover it up, maybe even frame someone else. I'd seen him protect Carter before. 3 months ago, when Carter broke an expensive testing machine, Marcus blamed maintenance. A good guy lost his job over that lie. I went home. Didn't touch the locker. Still couldn't sleep. Number the investigation. Next morning, Marcus called another meeting. He looked worse, eyes bloodshot, tie crooked, face drawn. "Corporate's sending an internal investigator," he announced. "If we don't locate the prototypes by Friday, I'll start termination paperwork for the entire department." His eyes swept the room before landing on me again. If anyone knows anything, speak now. Silence. Carter sat in the back, still on his phone, completely unbothered. After everyone dispersed, I didn't go to Marcus's office. Instead, I took the elevator down and walked straight to the security desk. Sandra, head of security, was reviewing monitor footage. She looked up when I approached. "I need to talk to you," I said quietly. "Privately." She raised an eyebrow but led me to her small office. "What's going on, Ava?" "I've noticed something unusual," I said carefully. "In the equipment room. I think someone should investigate." "About the missing prototypes?" I nodded. "I'm not making accusations, but I've seen someone acting strange around locker 27. Especially last Friday." "Whose locker?" "Carter Howard's," I said, using his full name. Sandra's expression stayed neutral, but something flickered in her eyes. "I see. I'm not asking for special treatment," I clarified. "Just follow standard protocol." "We'll investigate," she said. Standard procedure. I returned to my desk. Tried to focus. Hours dragged by in anxious fog. At 2:43 p.m., I heard the commotion, raised voices from 2 floors down. Then the elevator dinged, and 2 security officers stepped out with Sandra and Marcus behind them. Their faces told the story before any words. They'd found them. Marcus looked like he'd been punched in the gut as they walked toward Carter, who was just coming back from lunch. Confusion on Carter's face morphed into panic as Sandra explained they'd discovered all 6 prototypes in his locker, wrapped in his jacket. "That's impossible," Carter stammered. "Someone planted them. I'm being framed." Marcus looked at his son, then at security, then back at his son. I watched the conflict tear across his face. Executive versus father. Duty versus blood. "We need to continue this downstairs," Sandra said firmly. "Corporate's already been notified." As they led Carter away, his eyes locked with mine for a split second. Did he suspect? I kept my face blank, my expression calm, but there was something he didn't know. Something nobody knew. While security was discovering the physical evidence, another bomb was about to detonate. Because last night, after leaving the office, I'd done something else. Something that would destroy not just Carter's job, but the relationship Marcus valued above everything. Number, the email trail. About a month ago, Carter had left his phone on his desk, face up. When he went to the bathroom, a notification popped up, a text from someone named Vanessa. Asterisk. "Can you get me another one?" My boss was really impressed. Asterisk. I didn't touch his phone, didn't need to. That single message was enough to start connecting dots. Quick LinkedIn research revealed Vanessa worked at TechCore Solutions, our biggest competitor. More digging showed they'd met at an industry event 3 months back. Right after that, Carter started volunteering for inventory duties. Started asking about prototype checkout procedures. Started staying late on Fridays. What Carter didn't realize: I had access to the department email archive, a security measure after last year's data breach. Every email, even deleted ones, stored for 90 days. So last night, after visiting the office, I went home and logged into the archive. I found emails between Carter and Vanessa, professional at first, then personal, then incriminating. Asterisk. My father has no clue what happens in his own department. Asterisk. Carter had written. Asterisk. These prototypes are revolutionary, and he's too busy playing politics to notice when they disappear. Asterisk. Another email. Asterisk. It's almost too easy. The old man trusts me completely, thinks I'm learning the family business. What a joke. Asterisk. And the most damaging. Asterisk. I've got access to everything. Dad gave me a master key my first day. He's so desperate for me to follow in his footsteps. He'd probably cover for me if I cleaned out the entire supply room. Asterisk. I created a new email account. forwarded these messages to Marcus's personal address, the one he'd accidentally used on a team email once. I didn't add commentary. The emails spoke for themselves. I'd timed it perfectly. He would have received them this morning. Probably checked during lunch. Just hours before security found the physical evidence. Now, watching Carter being escorted away, I saw the devastation on Marcus's face. This wasn't just about stolen prototypes anymore. This was betrayal on a deeper, more personal level. Number, the aftermath. The office buzzed with shocked whispers after they left, everyone speculating. I stayed at my desk, eyes on my screen, looking as surprised as everyone else. Riley stopped by. Can you believe it? Carter? This whole time? I shook my head. I guess you never really know people. What happens now? I don't know, I said honestly. But I don't think Marcus will be firing the whole team anymore. I was right. 2 hours later, Marcus sent a department email. In stiff, formal language, he explained the prototypes had been recovered, the responsible party identified, and normal operations should resume. He thanked us for our patience. He didn't return to the office that day. Before I continue, I want to say thank you for listening to my story. It means something to have someone hear me out. Drop a comment telling me where you're from. I'm curious who's hearing my voice right now. My name is Ava Chen. I've worked in tech for nearly 8 years, the last 5 in product development. I'm 29, single, with a rescue dog named Algorithm. Yes, I'm that kind of nerd. I keep a small herb garden in my kitchen. People say I'm loyal to a fault, that I take on too much responsibility for things outside my job. My brother says I need to let people fail sometimes. Maybe he's right. What people don't usually notice. I'm observant. I remember details. Conversations from months ago. Exact wording of emails. Security camera blind spots. Who has access to what? I don't flaunt this ability. I just quietly keep track. I've been passed over for promotion 3 times. Each time, the position went to someone with fewer qualifications, but better connections. The last time, 6 months ago, Marcus had practically promised me the senior developer role. Then Carter joined the company and suddenly there was restructuring. The promotion disappeared. I don't hold grudges, at least that's what I tell myself. But I remember. Number. Marcus returns. Next day, Marcus was back at work. He looked like he'd aged a decade overnight. Didn't call meetings. Stayed in his office with the door closed. Corporate sent a company-wide email about a security incident that had been successfully resolved. They assured everyone no proprietary information had been compromised. They didn't mention Carter. By afternoon, rumors were flying. Someone from HR leaked that Carter had been terminated. Someone else claimed he'd been arrested. The most persistent rumor: he'd been stealing and selling information for months. I kept my head down. Did my work. At 4:45, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. I know it was you. You'll regret this. I stared at the screen. I blocked the number without responding. On my drive home, I took a different route. Checked my mirrors obsessively. Felt a knot of anxiety that hadn't been there before. That night, someone threw a brick through my living room window. Police came, took a report, said it was probably random vandalism. I didn't tell them about the text. Had no proof they were connected. I didn't sleep. Kept thinking about Carter having access to company records. My address would have been easy to find. Number. The promotion. Next day, Marcus called me into his office. My heart hammered as I sat across from him. His desk was cleared. The framed photo of him and Carter at a basketball game, gone. Ava, he said, voice hollow. I owe you an apology. I kept my expression neutral. For accusing the team. For putting everyone's jobs at risk. He paused. For not seeing what was happening right under my nose. I nodded but stayed silent. Corporate is conducting a full investigation. They believe Carter may have been selling information to competitors for months. I'm sorry, I said, and meant it not for what I'd done, but for the pain etched on his face. The senior developer position is available again, he said abruptly. I'd like you to take it. Effective immediately. The promotion I'd wanted for over a year. Thank you, I said. I appreciate the opportunity. He nodded, looking down at his desk. Our meeting was clearly over. As I stood to leave, he spoke again. Someone sent me emails. Private emails between Carter and someone at TechCore. Did you know anything about that? My heart stuttered. I kept my face carefully blank. What emails? He studied my face for a long moment, then shook his head. Never mind. Congratulations on the promotion. I walked out, feeling his eyes on my back. Did he suspect? Did he know? I couldn't tell. Number, the escalation. The next few weeks were tense. I jumped at unexpected sounds, changed my apartment locks, installed a security system, kept looking over my shoulder. Carter had been arrested but released on bail. The criminal charges were complicated: corporate espionage, theft of intellectual property. The legal process would take months. I heard through office gossip that Marcus had stepped back from Carter's defense, refused to pay for an expensive lawyer. Something between them had fractured beyond repair. 3 weeks after the incident, I was working late, office nearly empty, reviewing documentation for my new role, when I heard a voice behind me. You destroyed my life. I froze, fingers hovering over my keyboard. Didn't turn around. Didn't need to. I recognized Carter's voice, lower now, rougher, but unmistakably him. You're not supposed to be in the building, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Your access was revoked. He laughed. Bitter. No humor. Turns out there are ways around security if you know who to pay. My heart pounded. We were alone on this floor. Most lights dimmed. Security did rounds, but they were predictable every hour on the hour. It was 8:34 p.m. I slowly turned my chair. Carter stood 10 feet away, unshaven, wearing jeans and a hoodie instead of his usual expensive clothes. Eyes bloodshot, posture tense. You should leave, I said, reaching for my phone. Before security finds you. Before security finds you. I know it was you, he said, stepping closer. I know you went through my locker. Security found the prototypes, I corrected. I had nothing to do with it. Another step. No one else knew my combination, and those emails to my dad, nice touch. I stood, putting the desk between us. Carter, you're making this worse. If you leave now, I won't report this. He ignored me. My father won't even look at me. My court date is in 2 weeks. My life is over. And for what? I wasn't even selling them. Not really. You took 6 prototypes worth $250,000. I was showing off, impressing a girl. I was going to bring them back. After you let a competitor examine our proprietary technology. He slammed his hand on my desk, making me flinch. You self-righteous, you think you're so perfect, so loyal. You've been here 5 years, and what do you have to show for it? A desk by the window? A pathetic little raise every year? I said nothing, fingers finding my phone behind me. You know what's funny? He continued, voice dropping. Dad was never going to promote you. Ever. He told me that. Said you were too valuable where you were. The perfect worker bee. That stung, even though I knew he was just trying to hurt me. And now congratulations on your promotion, earned by destroying my life. He leaned forward. I'm curious. Did it feel good? Watching me get arrested? Seeing my father's face when he realized what you'd done? You did this to yourself, I said quietly. You stole from the company. You betrayed your father's trust. So why didn't you just tell him? Why the elaborate setup? Why send those emails? Because I knew Marcus wouldn't believe me. Because I needed undeniable evidence. Because Carter had been making my life miserable for 8 months and nobody would listen. But I didn't say any of that. Please leave, Carter. He stared at me for a long moment, then smiled coldly. Fine. But this isn't over. He backed toward the elevator, keeping his eyes on me. You should watch your back, Ava. You never know who might be watching you. After he left, I collapsed into my chair, shaking. I called security, reported the breach. They reviewed camera footage, confirmed Carter had gotten in using someone else's access card, promised increased patrols. I worked from home the next 2 days. Couldn't face the office. Couldn't stop looking over my shoulder. Couldn't sleep without checking locks 3-4 times. Number new management. When I finally returned, there was a company-wide email. Marcus had taken a leave of absence. Medical reasons, effective immediately. Jennifer Park from corporate would be taking over as interim department manager, people whispered. Some said Marcus had a breakdown. Others said corporate forced him out. The truth was probably somewhere between. Jennifer was competent, direct, and completely unfamiliar with our dynamics. She scheduled one-on-ones with everyone. When my turn came, she closed her office door and got straight to business. I've been reviewing personnel files, she said, tapping a folder. Your performance reviews are outstanding, but you've been passed over for promotion multiple times. Why? I hesitated. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask Marcus. She studied me carefully. The timing of your promotion is interesting. Same week his son was caught stealing company property. My mouth went dry. I believe the position opened due to restructuring. She made a note. The security report says you were the one who alerted them to check Carter's locker. I noticed suspicious activity, I said carefully. Reported it through proper channels. She nodded slowly. Ava, I need to know if there's anything else regarding this situation I should be aware of. Did she know about the emails? About my methodical dismantling of Carter's life? No, I said. Nothing else. She didn't look convinced but moved on. Let's discuss your new responsibilities. Number the weeks after. Weeks passed. Carter's case moved through the legal system. He pleaded guilty to lesser charges, theft instead of corporate espionage, got probation, community service, hefty fine, no jail time. I kept expecting retaliation. More broken windows, slashed tires, something. Nothing came. Marcus returned after 6 weeks. He looked better, physically rested, less haggard. But something had changed. The aggressive confidence was gone. He was quieter, more thoughtful. He avoided me when possible. In meetings, he deferred to my expertise in ways he never had before. The power dynamic had shifted subtly but unmistakably. One day, passing his office, I noticed his desk. New family photo, Marcus with an older couple, presumably his parents. No, Carter. He looked up, caught me looking. For a moment, our eyes met. I saw something there, not anger, not accusation, but deep, resigned understanding. He knew. Maybe not exactly what I'd done or how, but he knew I was responsible. I nodded slightly. He nodded back. A silent acknowledgement passed between us. Number. The final revelation. 2 months after Carter's arrest, I received a text from another unknown number. Asterisk coffee? We should talk. I didn't block it immediately. Asterisk. Who is this? Asterisk. Asterisk Vanessa from TechCore. Carter's friend. Former friend. Asterisk. My blood ran cold. The woman from the competitor. The one Carter had been trying to impress. Asterisk. How did you get my number? Asterisk. Asterisk Carter had it in his contacts. Please, I just want to talk. Neutral location. Public place. Asterisk. I should have said no, should have blocked her too. Instead, curiosity won. Asterisk. When and where? Asterisk. We met at a coffee shop downtown, halfway between our offices. I arrived early, chose a table with clear sight lines to all exits. Vanessa was younger than expected. Mid-20s, short dark hair, intense eyes. She sat across from me, clutching her coffee cup too tight. "Thank you for meeting me," she said. "I've wanted to talk since everything happened." "How do you know I was involved?" I asked, skipping pleasantries. Small smile. "Carter wouldn't stop talking about you. After his arrest, after the emails, he was obsessed with how you'd orchestrated everything." "I didn't orchestrate anything," I said automatically. She waved away my denial. "Doesn't matter, I'm not here about that." She leaned forward. "I'm here because I need your help." "Help with what?" Her expression turned serious. "Carter wasn't just showing me your company's prototypes, Ava. He was using me too." Vanessa glanced around before continuing. "Carter wasn't just stealing prototypes to impress me. He was collecting information from both our companies." "What do you mean?" She pulled out her phone, opened an app, slid it across. On screen was a conversation between Carter and someone named Marcus. I scrolled through messages discussing product specs, development timelines, trade secrets. "Not just from my company, from TechCore too." He was playing both sides, Vanessa said quietly. "Getting information from your company to impress me, then using my trust to get information about TechCore. Building his own database of industry secrets. For what purpose? To sell to the highest bidder," she said. "He had contacts with at least 3 startup companies trying to break into the market, planning to use this as leverage for a high-level position. Or blackmail." I handed back her phone, mind racing. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because he still has all that information," she said. "Police only found the physical prototypes. Didn't recover any digital data. And now he's desperate. Legal fees drained his savings. His father cut him off. He's been contacting people trying to sell what he has." "Have you gone to police?" She shook her head. "With what proof? Those messages don't explicitly show he planned to sell anything. And..." She hesitated. "I'd lose my job if TechCore knew I shared confidential information with him, even unintentionally." I studied her face, looking for deception. "What exactly do you want from me?" "I know you have access to company email archives," Carter told me. "I need to know what information he has from your company, what damage he could do." My instinct was to refuse immediately. This could be a trap. Vanessa could be working with Carter, but something about her desperation seemed genuine. And if what she said was true, Carter was still a threat not just to me, but to everyone. "Let me think about it," I said, finally. "I'll need time." She nodded, pushing a business card across. "My personal contact. Not company related." I took it, not committing to anything. Number, the final evidence. That night, I couldn't sleep. If Carter really was planning to sell company secrets, I needed to stop him. But accessing those archives without proper authorization, even though I technically had access, could cost me my job if discovered. I thought about the team, about developers who'd poured years into these projects, about jobs that could be lost if our intellectual property was compromised. By morning, I'd decided. Went to work early, office nearly empty. Logged into the archive system and searched through Carter's communications more thoroughly than before. What I found was worse than Vanessa suggested. Carter hadn't just been showing off prototypes. He'd been systematically collecting information from multiple departments: development specs, marketing strategies, financial projections. He'd created a comprehensive package of our company's most valuable secrets. And worse, I found evidence he'd already approached a startup called Innovate Tech, offering to sell what he had. I saved everything to an encrypted drive, locked it in my desk. then called Jennifer, the interim manager who now worked alongside Marcus. "I need to speak with you," I said. "It's urgent." In her office, I laid out what I'd discovered. Careful not to mention how I'd originally found information about Carter's locker or the anonymous emails. Focused solely on the immediate threat. Jennifer listened without interruption, expression growing more serious. "How did you discover this?" she finally asked. "I was contacted by someone from TechCore," I said, choosing honesty. "They had concerns Carter had collected sensitive information from both companies. And you decided to investigate on your own rather than reporting immediately?" "I needed to confirm the threat was real before raising an alarm," I said. "Now I have proof." She was silent for a long moment, then reached for her phone. "We need legal and security involved. This goes beyond simple theft now. Number resolution." The next 24 hours were a whirlwind. Meetings with corporate security, legal teams, executives. I explained everything, showed evidence, named Innovate Tech. The company moved quickly, obtained emergency injunction against Carter to prevent distribution of proprietary information, contacted Innovate Tech with cease and desist, reached out to Tech Core, initiating unusual cooperation between competitors to address the shared threat. Marcus was notably absent from these meetings. When I finally saw him in the hallway, he looked at me with an unreadable expression. "You knew," he said softly. "You knew all along what he was doing." "Not the full extent," I answered honestly. "Not until recently." He nodded slowly. "Was it worth it?" The question caught me off guard. Was what worth it? Bringing him down. Was it worth what it's cost you? I thought about sleepless nights. Broken window. Constant looking over my shoulder. "I didn't do it to bring him down," I said. "I did it to protect the team." He studied my face for a long moment. "You know, he told me it was you who sent those emails. He was convinced you orchestrated everything." My heart stuttered. "And what did you say?" "I told him he was giving you too much credit." A sad smile crossed his face. "I was wrong, wasn't I?" Before I could respond, he continued. "I've submitted my resignation, effective end of month. Sometimes the cost of our mistakes is too high to keep paying." He walked away, shoulders bowed under invisible weight. 2 days later, Carter was arrested again, this time for attempted corporate espionage and probation violation. Evidence overwhelming. No expensive lawyer could help now. Vanessa kept her job at TechCore. Both companies agreed to rare collaboration to strengthen security protocols. Neither publicly acknowledged what happened. Jennifer became our permanent manager. Under her leadership, our department flourished. People stopped walking on eggshells. Mistakes were addressed openly. Work became enjoyable again. As for me, I received a second promotion 6 months later. Senior Product Development Manager. My name appeared on patent applications. My opinions carried weight in planning meetings. Number, epilogue. Sometimes I think about Marcus, who moved to another state to start over. I heard he teaches business ethics at a community college. There's an irony there, not lost on me. I think about Carter too, serving his sentence. Wonder if he understands yet that his downfall wasn't my vendetta. It was his own choices. His own arrogance. His belief that rules didn't apply to him. The broken window was fixed, the texts stopped. Fear of retaliation faded. What remains is a lesson I never expected to learn. Sometimes protecting yourself means letting others face consequences of their actions. Sometimes loyalty needs to be directed toward those who deserve it, not those who demand it. I don't feel like a hero in this story. I made calculations, took risks, exposed a wrong but hurt people in the process. Marcus didn't deserve to lose a son, even one like Carter. But 12 people kept their jobs. Our company's future remained secure. And a workplace bully discovered that being untouchable is just an illusion. If you've stayed with me until now, thank you for listening. I wonder what you would have done in my place. Would you have acted sooner? Later? Differently? I still ask myself these questions, and if my story resonated with you, if you've ever stood up against someone who seemed untouchable, let me know. Sometimes knowing we're not alone in these difficult choices makes them a little easier to bear.